Here at the Royal Canadian Regiment Museum, our collection includes a selection of large-scale equipment, guns, and vehicles. These items have been used by the Canadian Army since the Second World War, and some of the cannons from an even earlier period. The centerpiece, on permanent loan from the City of London, is the LAV-3 monument. It is a lasting tribute in recognition of the service and sacrifices in Afghanistan. The LAV-3 monument was a project in partnership with the City of London, who owns the vehicle, and Canada Company, who manages the program across the country. During Canada's involvement in the Afghanistan conflict, 34 such vehicles were destroyed and 359 were damaged, 159 of which were involved in roadside bombings or target to enemy fire. According to Veterans Affairs Canada, 158 members of the armed forces and 4 civilians lost their lives in the line of duty in Afghanistan. Many more were wounded, and an unknown number suffer from the hidden effects of PTSD and other mental injuries. During a ceremony held on November 9, 2018, the community connections to the LAV-3 monument program were highlighted. The vehicle was built by General Dynamics Land Systems Canada in London, Ontario. The refurbishment of the demilitarized items was done in the city by Militex Coatings, and, more importantly, London remembered Trooper Mark Andrew Wilson, who in October 2006 was killed by an improvised explosive device in Afghanistan. Introduced in 1999, the LAV-3 replaced carriers like the AVGP Grizzly and the M113.5 APC. An 8-wheel vehicle, the LAV-3 is equipped with a 2-man turret. The Armored Vehicle General Purpose, the AVGP, included the Grizzly, Cougar, and Husky, were produced under license by GM Canada, Diesel Division, London, Ontario, currently General Dynamics Land System Canada. They are based on the Swiss Moag Piranha 1. The Grizzly was manufactured from 1979 to 1989, and they remained in use in Canada until 2005. The AVGP Grizzly was used in peacekeeping missions including Somalia and former Yugoslavia. They weigh 9,707 kilograms and can travel at a top speed of 100 kilometers per hour on land and 10 kilometers per hour in water. Many were retrofitted to remove the propellers that made up the marine propulsion system. The vehicle had a crew of 9, a commander, a driver, an observer, and 6 soldiers in the rear section. The Lynx Reconnaissance vehicle is an American-designed vehicle that was produced from the 1960s to the 1990s. It was used by Canada, the Netherlands, Bahrain, and Chile. The Lynx was built by the Food Manufacturing Company, FMC Corporation, which began as a pesticide company in 1883 and moved to engineering military equipment during the Second World War. The Lynx was produced in California. The vehicle was equipped to be amphibious. With no external propeller, this vehicle drives through water at relatively slow speeds, 6 kilometers per hour in water versus 71 kilometers per hour on land. It moves through the water using its tracks to propel it. It has a crew of 3, a commander, an observer, and a driver. It weighs 7,956 kilograms, and its armor is 31.8 millimeters thick. The Universal Carrier was an early attempt to build an armored tracked vehicle. They were designed to improve the Carden-Loyd tankette. British companies such as Vickers Armstrong were the original manufacturers. The Ford Motor Company would produce 28,992 of these carriers in Canada. The vehicle had multiple uses. It could be a carrier for up to 6 people and a machine gun, an ambulance, or a supply vehicle. During the Second World War, this vehicle was used extensively by the British, Canadians, and Germans. After the war, the Canadians and British stopped using the vehicle, although some were still used for training purposes. These vehicles were in service from 1934 to 1960 and had a crew of 3. It weighed 2,894 kilograms with 7 to 10 millimeter armor. Its top speed was 48 kilometers per hour. This Type 41 mountain gun is a Japanese-built, licensed copy of the German Krupp M08. It was introduced in 1908 and was used into the Second World War. This piece was brought back from the Aleutian Islands in the North Pacific after Operation Cottage. Before 1982, it was located at Fanshawe Pioneer Village, then it was given to the 1st Hussars Museum. In the early 1990s, it was brought to Wolseley Barracks. This is a rifled, muzzle-loading 9-pounder gun. It was designed by the British to replace the 12-pounder Armstrong gun. It was manufactured in England at the historic Woolwich Arsenal. The ammunition was transported in a 2-wheeled cart known as a limber. Horses towed the gun in the limber, and several crew members were needed to care for the ammunition and horses. There was a crew of 4 for the gun itself. This weapon was used in the Northwest Resistance 1885 by the Northwest Mounted Police and members of the Royal Canadian Regiment. The Ordnance Qf 25-pounder is a British-made howitzer, manufactured from the 1940s to present. The design allowed for the cartridges to be loaded faster and the shells to be fired in an arch for longer distances. This gun was widely used during the Second World War by the Allies in Europe and in North Africa. The Canadians used the Qf 25-pounder in the Second World War, the Korean War, and in training exercises until 1959. Some of these howitzers remain in operation in the Middle East.